Hi, today I'm going to do my speech on Benny Goodman. I'm going to start with giving a background on his career, then his struggles on and early in his life, his influence on me at Ball State University, and the achievements that he did through his life that inspire my playing to this day. Benny Goodman was born in 1909 in Chicago to David and Dora Goodman. He was born into a very poor Jewish immigrant family from Russia. He was the ninth kid of 11. At the age of 4, that's when he took his first lesson at his local synagogue with a couple of his brothers. Early on, when he was a little bit older, he took lessons from Johnny Dodds, Leon Rapolo, and Jimmy Noon. These were famous jazz players. At this time period, jazz was just starting to kind of take its roots and all that. And then later on, he took lessons from Franz Schopp, who was the principal clarinetist of the Chicago Symphony, who was the principal, and the Chicago Symphony was one of the best orchestras, arguably the top orchestra in the country at that time and even today. And then also when he got older in his career, the biggest things he did was they called him the King of Swing. And that was because in 1938 he performed at Carnegie Hall, which brought in the era of swing and jazz, and he really opened it up, because before then Carnegie Hall is the most prestigious concert hall in the country. It's in New York, and no jazz band had ever played there before. And so he brought in the era of swing and jazz, and he really brought it to the forefront. And it wasn't just classical music at the forefront. It was jazz and all that, and that kind of opened the door for all the genres we have today. His influences on me at Ball State is, well, we're both clarinetists. I play the clarinet, and he's not the reason I started playing clarinet, but he's the reason that I strive to better myself, because he is my favorite player, my favorite clarinetist out there. I love his style, and I love his jazz pieces, and a lot of my friends also really admire him, and we really try to imitate his sound when we play. And one thing that really influences me is that he played until he was almost dead, until his last days he was playing, until he died in 1986. He just kept playing and playing on until he couldn't play anymore. And that's something I hope to do one day, and just all through my life, is just keep playing every day, and just never give up, even till my dying breath. Just keep playing. One thing that we have in common is he liked, when he was taken with Franz Schopp, the principal clarinetist of the Chicago Symphony, he, as you know, Benny Goodman was he's just primarily a swing jazz player, but he liked to dabble in the classical music, and later in his career he would play with symphonies and major symphony orchestras around the country. And like me, I'm the same way, except it's the other way around. I play classical all the time, and I like to dabble and try and get lessons and do jazz band and all that. So it's the other way around. It's the same thing, just turn around, and instead with jazz going into classical, it's classical going into jazz. And his achievements that inspire me to this day is that he was called the King of Swing, and that he was able to bring that new era and genre of music into our lives. And I'd like to close with this one quote of his. To this day, I don't like people walking on stage not looking good. You have to look good. If you feel special about yourself when you look good, then you're going to play special. This is something that I really take to heart. And I feel that this quote is really really my motto for life. Thank you.